Well, look familiar? A lot of rain. Water over here and check my bucket just a little bit, see how much we got. But actually, that's where the house is going to sit. At least the first house, the garage. This all still has to be filled in. But this is pretty much exactly what I expected. So I'm not let down by this. I mean, we had a lot of rain, and it's got a lot of area here that has been built up that drains into it. So this actually does not worry me too much. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my pump thrown in here. Like I can't even set down on my regular pump station because it's below water. So I'm gonna get the pump set up right here on the bank and get to pumping, and then I'll probably wander around back and grab my other hose kits back there so I can get both pumps going up here. And then I'll make a video and we'll show you. Let's see how much water's in the pond too, but let me get the pumps going because that's what's most important. So just a little add-on here. This is what I refer to as the south ramp. And you can see I built it up, and I built it up as I told you all in the other videos so that I had a place to pull the truck up on the background and then back up on the north ramp where the garage will go. But in doing so, I cut off this little part of the moat. And of course the moat, the road's all the way up here, so I got some ways to go. But I cut off that communication. And so now look at all this volume of water that's in this part of the moat. And this is all water that's drained off the road back there and drained off of my big piles up here. But this is water that is not in the work area. So yes, I'll pump it out, but it's not critical. So otherwise, normally had I not cut that off right there, I'd have had to pump all this volume as well as all that volume before I could run any equipment in there. Now all I gotta do is get that area pumped out, and then I'll move my pump over and start pumping this out. But I'm walking back here to the pond to grab my other hoses, and I'll show you what the pond looks like. Oh boy. Well, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty much exactly what I expected, given the volume of rain that we had. I'm tempted to chuck my clothes off and dive in and see just exactly how deep it is because I can't remember, but I'm gonna say at least 5 feet. At least. Maybe only 4, but still deep, a lot of water. But again, the important thing is if you look over here at the far bank, I've got 4 feet of material that I can still strip out while the rest of this pumps out. So this actually all worked exactly as I'd hoped. So I'm actually really happy with this. Given the rain that we had and the conditions that we're in, my entire haul road has drained off just like it was supposed to, up until right there where I put the high point. I did it on purpose. So now everything in front of that has to drain to the pad, but that's fine. That's what I planned for. So I've actually got a lot of material here that I can haul before I have to get all this pumped out. So again, pumping off the house area because that's what has to be driven on the most and worked on. And then I'll get the pumps set down here in the pond and get them going. And probably, today this is all going to be still wet and muddy, so I probably won't run on it. I might actually try driving through with the excavator just for grins. But I can actually go back here and dig not only that top 4 feet, but once I'll just leave a little dike right there, and I'll be able to dig out behind it and dig the rest of the pond out back there. So actually quite a bit of work I can still do given the amount of water that I have in here. So I'm actually happy. Again, like I said, I'm not happy that I got to pump all this water out. That sucks, but that's a curveball that nature throws at you. But I'm happy that I'm finally learning to get it all set up right the way that it has to be in order for me to be able to get in here and work effectively. So, said it before, but to all those naysayers that said I had rotten ground and it can't be done, and you got to wait till a 5-year drought to get in here and do anything, I say you're wrong. I say I proved it. And yeah, I don't know. I told you so, I guess. This is kind of funny. It's like something out of like a creepy Amazon, massive snake movie. So this hose just can't quite get itself comfortable. So it's whipping around. But it's just funny watching because it's like, you don't really see the end of it, You just see it whipping around, curling under the water. Maybe there it's got itself wedged up, we'll see. But a second ago it was actually somehow propped up on this log and it was spraying a big fountain up in the air. It was kind of pretty actually. But anyway, the hose from the other pump sitting over here, it's got itself pretty well wedged in there and stabilized, so it's not whipping around anymore. And this one looks like it's settled down, but got both pumps going strong, running hard, and yeah, just gonna let the pumps run for a while. So now I'm standing over here, where you see my pumps over there. I'm standing over basically right where the garage is gonna go. I mean, there's a pink flag, there's a pink flag, so I'm standing up on the high ground. But this should all kind of slope off right through there towards the pond. So what'll happen is as these pumps are running, they'll drain all this off, and I should be left with a little high point through here somewhere. And then I'll move the pump over here and I'll start draining this off. This really is actually pretty shallow. It looks like a lot of water, but it's actually pretty shallow through there. So I'll throw one pump on right in the sump here, and then I'll take the other one and move it around into the moat and get it pumped out. I mean, actually the moat's really not even critical. I guess I could at that point take one pump on around and set it on the pond. But we'll just see. We'll see how it goes with them running. I got time to kill, so I'll make y'all a good update video, I guess. I haven't done a whole lot with it because I've been so busy working, but I'm not here some time, so try to show you around everything. So here I'm standing on that little bit of road that I built up. I think I told y'all in one of the last videos I put a few loads right in here. This is the area that I used to have to map my way through earlier this winter when we had some rain, but I built it up so I wouldn't have to, but didn't quite get enough. Could have used one more load right in there, so there's some water. But that's water that actually didn't come from the outside. You can see the berm's connected. That's water that's backed up right in here, because now this is like a little unofficial pond right in here, which eventually that'll all get pushed in and filled in, so I'm not worried about it. But you can see how I kind of made an upper pond on accident, but that backed up across there, and then it's running down through here and on down into my pond. So let's go see where that looks like. So here you go. Here's what runs into the pond. You just got a little ditch right there, but you can see it cut a pretty good little canyon. These timber mats I left here have become a bridge, which was not the plan, but whatever. But cut this little canyon out underneath of it, and then it washed down through here. And actually, it actually, I'm surprised. I was afraid it was going to hold a little bit of water. Just that one little puddle. The rest of it managed to drain off because it eroded its own drainage down. So that works really well. You can see walking across here where it cut a pretty big hole right down through there. But it's actually all drained itself really well. So we just come on around here, and it would have been cool to have been out here while it was raining to see this, because it would have been a waterfall. Probably the biggest waterfall in San Jacinto County right here. Of course, now it's nothing. But yeah, pond's a little full, but it'll be alright. Okay, that's pretty much all I got to show you guys. Guess I'll just sit out here and talk to the wind. Well, I ended up going in the drink, you know, because I'm bored, got nothing better to do. So walked out around the back and came through my little haul road, and I was like, well, I'll just wander through here and see how deep it is. And I got really close to the leading edge here, and it got water out up over my boots. It was right at the top, and I started kind of feeling around with the stick, trying to figure out which direction I should go. It was shallow. And just as I stood there, I sunk just a little bit, and then when I moved, of course, it made a little ripple and it spilled over. So at that point, I decided to heck with it and just started marching through it, water pouring in my boots. But so right out here somewhere, there's a little spot that's about a foot deep, but flow level's coming down really fast. You can see over here on this opposite bank, I mean, it's already come down a vertical distance of, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches. I can zoom in over there. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see where it smoothed off, where the water was on it. So 2 or 3 inches already come down. Not bad. But yeah, hang out and run the pumps. Running the pumps is always a good time to trace your water flow. So I know this drains off in here, which this is mostly artificial. I'm standing up on, you know, topsoil we pushed out. But it's kind of funny seeing the water run through here, and got a good little river running right through there and running towards the front. So not bad really. It's just funny to see. It's like watching the creek and flood, you know, trying to figure out where all the water would go. So I know it runs off that direction towards the front, but then it goes all the way back out and around. So wander off through there and just kind of follow it and see where it goes, just because I'm bored. But good to see. If you're ever looking at property, you know, that you think might have water issues, it's actually good to go walk it after a real hard rain to try to see, because, you know, like I was playing with this property before. When we bought it, it was dry, it looked good, and I would have never guessed it had these drainage issues because I just didn't know any better. But now, of course, now I know, and I'm fixing it. Sounds like my neighbor's having fun killing something. Anyway, I'm wandering out here through the woods and see what I can see, but I pretty well know the story. It runs that away and on around the back. All right, well, you'll have to forgive the sun, but here's the update for today, the wrap up. I got the whole house area pumped off, so you can see everything down in here. Down in this sump is now dry. Look at this, this is fun. That's dry dirt, like powdery dry dirt, where the excavator turned it over. So just, even though we got 6 inches of rain, just a fraction of an inch below the surface is dry. But all this was underwater, so it is slimy, nasty, but you can see I drove right down in there with the excavator and it left some ruts, but I was on, again, solid ground. So unfortunately it's too slimy, I can't get the truck in it. The truck, with having, you know, no traction and low power, I'd get it in there and get stuck. I got stuck twice over here just fooling around, had to pull it back out with the excavator twice. But anyway, got all this pumped off on the far side over there against that opposite sump. That ditch is pumped off. And again, you know, like I said, I could, if I didn't have this little bit of sloppy stuff right here, I could get in there and get to hauling right away. Debatable, maybe I could get, if my dozer guy's available, I could have him come in and shove all that crap off, and maybe I could go to work. I might see if he can do that. But anyway, I showed you all the pond and everything. I've got all my stuff moved over. I just started pumping out the moat over there, but I ran out of time, so I've got all the hoses and everything over there, and I'll be back out here tomorrow evening to run the pumps on it again. So get all that pumped out, and I'll just keep working my way on around to the pond and start pumping on the pond. And yeah, depending on what I can do with my dozer guy, I might actually pay him to come just shove all the muck off, so I can go to work for a day. We'll see, because I got 2 days of sunshine tomorrow and Tuesday, and then it's supposed to rain again, so it'd be nice to get a day of hauling in there, but you know, if I can't, oh well. Anyway, that's it for today.